All right, we're entering now the Richard Nixon Hall of Experience.
Dick just picked up the mantle at that point, and he was the eldest son and destined to become the leader of the family.
Since the Civil War, you had the assassinations of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy.
Full integration of the South has still not happened.
Our families were coming apart by a war that we didn't fully grasp.
Here's an interesting model of the Capitol. There's the Congress there. There's the White House over here. Lincoln Memorial. And the Supreme Court back there. And Parker and I just had an interesting talk about the composition of the Senate versus the composition of the House and the process by which, the legislative process by which laws originate there, or they could originate here and then get kicked back down over here and then brought back over here and then on the way to the president. And then an interesting view of the Supreme Court. And we both had to count. Are there really 9? There are 9, at least for now. Parker, what did you think of that film?
It was very interesting how President Nixon did all those things for people.
I was struck by the comprehensiveness of his life achievement, right? Most of us just think about him for the end, but he actually did an amazing number of things. He had quite a vision for the world, didn't he?
Very much so.
Yeah.
He was a big achiever.
Yeah, he was. And a dreamer.
Yes, very much so.
Interesting man. Now we get to see a little more. The 60s. And then it goes through all the different decades and all the events. This is really interesting. Taking the oath of office. I remember a lot of these bumper stickers. And the pins. Wow, look at that. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's an Oval Office.
This is how, yeah, the exact size and everything. Hi there again, welcome.
Hi. Wow, so it's the exact size.
This is the exact size of the Oval Office, and this is how it was decorated.
Really?
Richard Nixon was president. You are allowed to sit at the desk, pick up the phone. Well, I can take pictures of you guys if you want to do that.
That'd be great.
And yeah, so every president gets like a catalog, and they, you know, become president. They'll let you decorate your office however you want. You can bring your own furniture in.
Except the Resolute desk stays the same.
Okay, this is not the Resolute desk. This is a copy of the Wilson desk.
Oh.
It was Richard Nixon's desk when he was vice president. First of all, it is a partner desk, so 2 lawyers would use this.
Oh, right.
So, when Kennedy died, Johnson sent the Resolute desk to the Smithsonian. So Richard Nixon didn't use it. So Nixon and Ford used this desk. And then Carter brought the Resolute desk back to the White House. I had no idea. I know. And then every president since then has used the Resolute desk, except the first George Bush, who used another desk. And if you want to be a total geek, Google presidential desk.
Okay.
And they'll tell you all about it. But I think this desk is much prettier.
Wait, this isn't the real thing though, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're going to go through some exhibits, and if it's behind glass and you can't touch it, it's the real thing. But if you can touch it, it's a...
but it's a replica of the...
It's a replica. So this is actually, I don't know where
Parker, have a
it's now,
seat.
but it's actually one of the desks that Kamala Harris uses.
Really?
The vice president has 3 offices. And, you know, one at the Senate, one at the White House, and then one at her, at the Naval Observatory.
Parker, I'm picturing great things for you in the future. Now you have to sit up very presidential, right? There's no slouching in the which desk is it? It's not the Resolute desk. It's
the
Wilson desk. There should be no slouching in the Wilson desk. Ooh, look, Parker. Moon rock.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor and privilege for us to be here representing not only the United States, but men of peaceable nations, and with interest and a curiosity and with a vision for the future. Honor for us to be able to participate here today.
Exponentially has meant a much broader, more solid relationship now.
Nixon provided a vision for peace in which all significant countries to participate. It was one of the fundamental events in modern diplomatic history.
The President and Mrs. Nixon visited the temple.
First Lady with the pandas at the zoo, and live pictures of Nixon walking on the Great Wall of China.
I remember
These things went on for 8 days.
Wow, that's an amazing sweep. 49 states, but one. Except everything but Massachusetts, 500. This is the Watergate exhibit. So everything from the whole timeline here towards the road to resignation, the break-in, the plumbers, dirty tricks, the cover-up. This is interesting over here about the taping system. And if you pick this up, you can listen to the 18.5-minute gap on the phone that was erased from the tapes.
You will be in our hearts, and you will be in our prayers. Thank you very much.
raised my hand. I don't know whether it was a salute or a wave, but that was it. Turned, went in, sat down. Heard the engines were on.
I think I probably got my attitude about winning and losing during my college years when I went out for sports. Our coach was Chief Newman.
We never talked about where we were going. It was always about the future. Never about the past. I think the most lively place I was in was Brooklyn.
A man down in Texas heard Pat on the radio mention the fact that our two youngsters would like to have a dog. And believe it or not, the day before we left on this campaign trip, we got a message from the Union Station in Baltimore saying they had a package for us. We went down to get it. You know what it was? It was a little Cocker Spaniel dog in a crate that he sent all the way from Texas. Black and white, fine. And our little girl, Tricia, the 6-year-old, named it Chet. You know, the kids like...
I had all the POWs who were to come home. That had to be not only the greatest experience as president,
proud to be American,
but also, I think, all my public life.
Wow, that's such a California setting. Across this beautiful lawn. And then the house. This is the Pat Nixon Amphitheater. A gift of Bob Hope and his wife Dolores. Wow. So this is the actual house where Richard Nixon was born. What a beautiful house. Richard Nixon birthplace. I was born in a house my father built. Wow. Did you know that you get about kid houses, Parker?
No, I did not.
It used to be. You can find old. You know Sears, right?
Yeah.
It's an old store, right? They used to have a catalog, and you could buy a house from a catalog. They were about $2,000, and then you could build the house. All the house would come to you in kit, and you'd build it. This wasn't a Sears catalog house, but it was a kit house. And it's the actual house that Richard Nixon was born in. Now, it didn't have the helicopter then, I don't think, but...
There's a statue of him in the China exhibit. Oh, okay. Well, then when you go into the China exhibit, you'll see a statue. Thank you. My pleasure. Enjoy your visit. And they'll be out after she tours this group, then she'll come out and take you on a tour.
Oh, wonderful.
If you would like to see the inside of the birthplace.
Certainly would. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
What a charming, quaint house. What a perfect spot then for his museum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
You think these trees have been here as long as the house?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess this is the exit only. Let's go back around.
Totally original, you guys.
Is it okay?
Friends again. Yeah, come
Hi,
on in.
yes, good to see you again.
How are you?
Yes, our favorite tour guide.
They've already gone. Okay, so Richard Nixon was born in this house, in that room. He was only one of the 5 Nixon boys to be born at home. Only reason, it was a cold and rainy January, and his mother, Hannah, wasn't able to get to the hospital. So a midwife helped her deliver the future president. If you look, the quilt on the bed was a wedding gift of Frank and Hannah. And if you look really closely, you can see the people who made each square to put the wedding quilt together. The couple on the dresser, that's Samuel and Sarah Nixon, Richard's grandparents. That's the family Bible, and that's Frank's glasses. And if you look around the corner, that's Hannah's fan when she graduated from high school. Here's a picture of Frank and Hannah on their wedding day. Ladies, if you look really closely, Frank was all over. And then here's the picture of Hannah with some of her brothers and sisters. She was the tall girl. So Hannah came from a prominent Whittier family, the Mill Houses. It was her family that gave the money to buy this property, and then when they couldn't make it, they moved back to the family homestead in Whittier. For those who don't live around here, Whittier, if you get off on Carroll Highway and kind of go northwest, it's about 15 miles.
How big was the property?
It was 9 acres. So our library is 7.8 acres. Oranges and lemons. Oranges did really well. Lemons were robust. This is the original house. It hasn't been moved. It is a kid house, but it's not a Sears kit.
Is the furniture authentic?
Yes, except for the stove and the ice box. Obviously, it's been refurbished, but the flooring's original and all the hardware's original. Some of the wood, I have no idea which one. All that's original. First 2 years they lived here, there was no running water or electricity, so that was the second bedroom. Once they got hooked up,
I'm reading that book right now. It's in the car.
Split that room,
Yeah,
I have a copy of that.
and then out of the bedroom upstairs. So when you go out, there's a picture. You can kind of look around the corner. But anyways, here's a composite of the 5 Nixon boys, about 3 or 4 years old. First of all, they're all named after English kings. The first one is Harold. Harold died at 23 years old of tuberculosis. His last year of his life was spent in Arizona. Hannah went with him, and to pay for their stay there, Hannah took care of other patients. Second boy is Richard. Third boy is Donald Francis. His kind of claim to fame in the day, he had a fancy steakhouse in Whittier, kind of like a Mastro's or Fleming's that you would go to. But Hannah passed away in 1967. It was his wife that gathered up all the family heirlooms, put them in storage. So that's why we have what we have today. And then the fourth boy is Arthur. Arthur died at 8 years old of tuberculosis and encephalitis. That's also another reason. That was about that time after he passed away, the family sold the homestead and moved back. And then the last gentleman is Edward. Edward just passed away 2 years ago. He was 89 years old. He was a retired geologist, and he lived outside of Seattle. He wasn't born till the family moved back to Whittier. And I think there's like 15 years between him and Richard and Edward. So anyways, these are all Hannah's dishes. The blue dishes were their everyday dishes. Okay, you're gonna go out this door, but it's, if you look over, you can kind of see the stairs. That's Frank's saddle. They have one horse, a coffee creamer room. All that stuff in here is original. I am getting out of the way. So there's just a row.
So we can go out that back door?
You're gonna go out that back door. You don't have to go right now, but
Fascinating.
I know.
Who played the clarinet?
They all did. One
Oh.
of Hannah's brothers was a music teacher, so all of them played the piano, clarinet, violin. Supposedly that was Donald Francis's violin, but you know, who knows?
Small house.
Yeah, well, this was what you got in the day.
And there was a room upstairs, though, right?
Yeah, in the attic. You can't. They don't take you up there, but there is a picture that you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes. Yes, they are.
Presidential cookbook.
Because it's too small.
Was there really a presidential cookbook at the time?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Is that?
His Hannah's cookbook, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It is crazy.
That's amazing.
No, you're welcome. It's just like the diagram.
Oh, there's the ice box. Thank you so much. Great tour.
Oh, you see me again.
All right, we'll see you. Can you believe, Parker, that there were 5 boys and then mom and dad in that little house?
Wow.
Yep. One bathroom.
One bathroom.
Up those steps. You guys couldn't go up the
No.
steps. I've been up the
Is it
steps.
nice? That's where the kids slept, right?
5 of them.
I saw the model. They were all, the beds were crammed together. Are they still up there like that? I can't get over that there was a cookbook in the kitchen called the Presidential Cookbook.
I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you about presidential stuff.
Yeah?
See this tree?
Yeah.
Okay. It's on the
We're about to be taught something interesting. Okay, the tree on the $20 bill.
Okay, and it is a magnolia tree.
Yeah.
And there are no more of them because people were stealing cuttings from the ones here, and these are gone. This is the only descendant, and it's the great-grandson of Andrew Jackson's magnolia tree.
What?
Yes.
From the White House. It's a cutting from it.
And Pat Nixon brought it.
This is actually the graves of Pat and Richard Nixon.
And her birthday was yesterday.
Herbert.
And that was her wreath.
So Herbert was here yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, because she was the person that did the most for Girl Scouts.
And I'm sorry, who was who was she then?
Pat Nixon, his wife.
Oh, I know Pat Nixon, but who was the person that visited yesterday?
No, everybody visited. It was her birthday.
Oh, it was her birthday. It was her
Girl
birthday.
Scouts.
Oh, I see. The Girl Scouts were here. I see.
That was her philanthropy, was Girl Scouts.
Interesting. Yes.
All the Girl Scouts came yesterday.
So what I just learned was that in order to be buried here, there was this piece of land was sold to a church to be consecrated ground, and this is actually the birth spot of Richard and the birth and burial for Richard.
Yeah, he was born in that.
Where was Patricia born? Where's Pat from?
Whittier.
Whittier. Okay, so nearby. She was a local gal. Greatest sister.
She was in theater.
And the Girl Scouts brought the wreath yesterday.
Yeah.
In honor of them. Wow, that's amazing. President's ride.
That's right. Actually, 4 presidents.
4 presidents. This particular helicopter.
President Kennedy, President Johnson, President Nixon, President Ford.
Really? The same helicopter?
Same helicopter.
Now, didn't they have like 2 or 3 that would be together
6.
like decoys, right?
Decoys, and they still have that. You know, it's not. You see only one taking off, but.
Who was the famous president that someone said, "Sir, that's your helicopter over there," and he said, "Son, these are all my helicopters."
I'll bet it sounds like Johnson.
Johnson?
That's a guess.
That's a guess.
That's a guess.
So here's Marine one or Army one.
Yeah,
Army one. This is our Army one, and this is the actual threshold where Nixon said farewell, which Parker is taking apart. And remember, this is the 60s and the 70s, and would you believe it? It had shag carpet, or almost shag carpet, even trimmed along the edge there. This is original. I checked with the docent. It really had it, and all the pilots wore sandals or barefoot. Well, maybe not that last part, but amazing. Look at this. President of the United States seal. And this was President Nixon's favorite helicopter. He had several helicopters, of course, to choose from. And it rained recently and it leaked, which is the reason for the tarp. Made by Sikorsky. This is not the deck right here that he did the farewell. That's around the corner. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Well, it's big. The new Marine one is about 18 feet longer than this one. This is an older model. It's moved along since then. There's that 5 rotors. Here is the, this is the deck where Nixon said farewell to the nation, right? Here. Amazing. So Parker and I have finished our tour of the Richard Nixon Presidential Library. What did you think?
It was very interesting on how we got to see all the things he did that we usually don't get to see in like documentaries and stuff. And I learned a lot about who he really was, how he grew up, and of course where he grew up. This is the birthplace and where he
right here.
Right here.
He was born in that room. He was born behind this window in the bed right there. He probably conceived in that bed. I don't know if I'm not being tasteful to say that, but probably conceived and born right here. Yeah. And what else?
He died here.
He died here?
He died right here. He's buried right here.
Yep, buried right over there, right around the house. Yeah.
There's a lot of flowers named after like the things about Nixon. We got to see his helicopter, and that's all I learned.
And I was really also impressed by the level of energy enthusiasm of the docents. The volunteers that are here, that touring, really enjoyed this and were very comprehensive in their knowledge and sharing. We got lucky because we got our favorite docent following us all the way through. Or just lucky timing. Whoop. Just lucky timing on that. Well, anyway, thank you, Parker, for joining me for another nice time. One of the docents told us to recommended a place for. We suggested that they should have a restaurant. They said one's coming. And then where did she say that we should go for lunch?
Clyde's Chicken.
Clyde's Chicken. That's where we're headed next. Spicy stuff. He thinks he can handle the hot stuff. We'll have to see about that.
I can.
Okay, off we go. Thanks for joining me, Parker. Let's go get lunch.
All right.
Bye, Mr. Nixon. Okay, Parker and I are all done at the Presidential Library, and we've stopped by for a little Clyde's hot chicken. All right, there we go. Which one's yours?
This one.
And how do you know? Oh, hottest cluck. You think you're actually going to be able to withstand that?
Oh, definitely.
I got the mellow original. I know better. And is that ketchup or what is that? Hot sauce? Something.
The house sauce.
House sauce. We're ready to give it a try. You ready to try it? Let's do it. Okay, Parker's going to give it the hottest cluck a try. Let's see.
Look how dark that is.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. You're doomed, buddy. You're doomed. It's been good knowing you, buddy. Drink bar's right over there. It's gonna hit you soon. There. Were you thirsty or did you need it?
I need that. That's good.
That's good?
That's good.
Let's see if you can finish the whole thing though.
The whole thing?
No, I don't want you to have to don't eat any more than you actually can, and if you can't, don't worry about it. We'll get you something else, okay? All right.
Let me take the pickles off. I don't like pickles.
All right, good luck to you. He's off to a good start.